the Medusa
So,
Spectres.
Tsunami, how about we go to the source himself? We'll go over to LGD and get an interview with our friend Helen.
Hi, Helen here with maybe from PSG LGD。恭喜获得上场比赛的胜利。我想首先问一下，你们刚刚2场比赛其实结束的非常快，然后也是非常碾压性的，是哪些因素导致你们发挥的那么好呢？
就是我们小组赛结束就是战绩不太好，然后我们回去总结看录像，然后从 BP 上，还有阵容上面就是主要问题吧。然后大家发挥，我觉得也是跟阵容有关，因为我们比较熟悉，所以打得比较好。
So I asked him, because those two were very one-sided games, I asked him what makes his team perform so well. And he said after group stage, they actually concluded a lot from the draft, and they picked something that they're comfortable with, and that's how the team performed so well. 我想问一下，因为之前你是休息过一段时间，你是做什么去了呢？然后在休息的这段时间内是怎么保持自己的状态的？
刚休息那会儿，我是就是领了个结婚证，然后后面。
That he plays a lot of Dota to keep his form up. 昨天小本子也是出了嘛，我想问一下，你们全队有没有冲了呢？支持了多少？谁的等级最高？
等级就我们除了插诺瓦，其他4个人就差不多吧，都是1、2千级。然后插诺瓦他就只有100级，然后我们本来给他众筹的准备，但是后面就支付不了。
因为你是经常打小黑的嘛，我只想问你抽了几个小黑
？2个，我们就其他4个人每个人都是2个。
哦，那还不错。So Battle Pass came out yesterday, and I asked if the entire LGD actually bought it. Everyone on LGD has a 2K level Battle Pass except for Xnova, and they're thinking of fundraising for Xnova's Battle Pass level. And for his Drow Immortals, he actually got 2. Everyone on the team except Xnova got 2. 谢谢 Maybe.
Thank you.
稍后还有更精彩的比赛，不要走开。I'll see you guys back here later.
Thank you so much. Artifact Toki out there. I gotta say, we learned a lot from that interview. For one, who wouldn't want to marry that man? Think about the Dota genes coming out for the next generation. We all know Dota's not going anywhere. Sorry, other MOBAs. Dota, 30 years from now, our children are going to be pro players.
There are already a lot of pro players who are already having children. Like
that's right.
Here,
yep.
Ice,
Cuckoo, Ice, some of those. Yeah.
There are a couple of other Chinese players as well, but the next generation is already being formed before our very eyes.
That's right. And the most impressive thing that I heard from that interview was a fundraiser for more Battle Pass levels. What a scam that is. These are pro players.
I like how they already have 2Ks and they're like, I'm sorry, Xnova. I'll do a GoFundMe for you, but I mean, like, I really need my 2K levels in Battle Pass.
Yeah, come on now. You're playing at the major. The grand prize is $1 million. You want us to pay for your Battle Pass levels?
The dude can't even high-five anyone.
Come on now.
They're leaving him hanging both in real life and in the game.
That is extremely cruel coming out from LGD, but it's that cruelty that keeps those players in line.
Keeps Xnova hungry.
Gotta respect that, absolutely. So, as we leave that last series in the dust, we got to tell you about the next one, boys. We have a big boy. That is MINESKI versus VP. VP, what are they doing in the lower bracket? How did this happen to them?
They got 2-0'd by OG. Like some of these teams like LGD in the lower bracket.
You don't need to say it like that. You don't need to say OG.
This is OG at their first major, though. They may have won TI, but they have not been around this DPC season.
Or you could say, like, this is OG's first major. They haven't been around this.
Yeah.
Our DPC season.
Anna's finally returning.
Anna's finally back.
They're back in their final full
I guess
form.
Anna's finally back.
Yeah. No. I mean, OG, yeah. Hats off to those guys. Played great Dota. But yeah, VP got kind of stumped by OG. Very convincingly defeated.
Yeah. It was a beatdown of proportions we haven't seen on VP in a long time. But you know what? We're going to talk more about these teams. We're going to get really into the next series. Do not go anywhere. We're going to take a short break, and then you'll see us right back here soon.
Little juke around there from Monkeys, but it's going to be Miracle who managed to pick up the first kill. Zach Maledic missed LSA, and Limp going to be hit by one of those final shots. The team swelled, but now they're actually going to turn to fight a little bit. Monkeys Forever's coming over the Firefly, but maybe with that extra bit of damage, not going to be enough for Z. Maledic on the Z-Free, the paralyzing pass bouncing back to Z-Free. 2 helps with the damage needed to be able to get that kill. But the lasso onto the Storm Spirit with the ink swell, the silence is a nice combination. Monkeys Forever took so much damage from the Storm, and now the 3-4-3 is going to be caught inside this route. That's 3 dead. Complexity. The kill. The Rolling Thunder thought about going in instead. There's just the lead challenge. No way. This round, the TPO. No! Actually, here unless the Swashbuckle gets away. Meanwhile, the Chronosphere up here in the top lane. Very important kills. Even if the Storm Spirit is locked in, it doesn't matter. Those two. It's not going to feel great for Complexities. Now they may be losing Monkeys Forever. I see. Maybe, but not the Furion in there. A big Wrath of Nature hit on multiple heroes, but they are going to pull a challenge back to his doom. All these heroes are low, though, and maybe sees it. Slowing down Miracle. Now the jump in from the Storm Spirit will finish him off for the triple himself. They do manage to get the double lasso up here with Miracle being able to burst down the back line. That was beautifully set up. Finally, they get a great Grimstroke combination. But Ame, you said he was spellcasting, though, with the blue debate's already out. They are going to be able to bring down 2, but the BKB, no, Ame doesn't fall. Even with Doom on him, with the BKB, he just turns and starts right-clicking some of these heroes. Lem's going to be pulled back into his Doom as Doom himself gets caught inside the Sprout, trying to make his way back into Fun, where maybe he's currently residing. In Complexity, don't want to watch that. A difference in laning phase doesn't matter.
Observing something where I felt like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.
business on the day they came. They showed a piece of paper saying eminent domain. They built an apartment building saying progress was to blame. So he got mad and he turned bad. Brick by brick, he's gonna take his land back. Wreck it, Ralph, as fast as you can. You know you can do it with your colossal hands. So go and fix it, Felix, and that building stand. I wreck it, I fix it, I wreck it, I fix it.
You fixed it!
Fix It Felix is a really great guy. Watch him get all turbocharged when it's applied. Not just a superintendent, he's a super guy. And everybody loves him. With his trusty tool belt and steel-toed shoes, nice hunters believe that Felix just can't lose. So when Wreck-It Ralph starts to come unglued, he doesn't get mad, cause he's so rad. Brick by brick, he's gonna build it back. Fix it, Felix, as fast as you can. Use the magic hammer you got from your old man. Cause you know Wreck-It Ralph won't let that building stand. I wreck it, I fix it, I wreck it, I fix it,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to MDL Disneyland Paris. My name is Sir Action Slacks, and we are here for our second series of the day. VIRTUS.PRO versus MINESKI down there in the low and dirty lower bracket. Gentlemen, welcome back. How you all doing? Did you enjoy your break?
Of course.
That's good.
Every time.
What are you doing in your break?
What are you doing over there?
You know, every time good.
It's between me and Disney.
Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you so much, gentlemen. So we have this very exciting match here. VIRTUS.PRO, the kings of the major, as some would call them, the Bear team. I was going to say something else, but you know, I'm not. We got to keep it PG, all right? The Bear boys, let's put it that way, versus MINESKI. Now, MINESKI, God's kind of the SEA expert. I think this is kind of your area of expertise.
SEA expert.
Is that correct?
I guess so. Yeah, I know MINESKI pretty well.
All right. So what's up with this team? I don't understand them.
In what kind of way? You understand them?
They're hot and they're cold. They're yes and they're no, over and over again.
When would you say they were hot? I know. Sorry, that came out worse than. Look, they're
what's wrong with you
they're
people today?
lukewarm and then they're cold. I don't think we've seen MINESKI hot yet.
That's true. Okay.
They're ups this season. You know, they got second place at ESL Mumbai. But overall, I think MINESKI's had a development year. Like they started off. They've had a few different roster changes. Even this iteration here is a very new one with Raging Potato and Ninja Boogie coming into the team. And it still feels like they're in this development phase. Bringing in Ajit was, I think, the best move they've made all year. He was a big upgrade and improvement from their former roster. And I think they're still in this place where they're trying to discover themselves a bit as a team. They're competitive. They're a decent team, but they're outmatched in the series on paper.
On paper. But VIRTUS.PRO would be kind of disappointing a lot of the fans at this one event, at least.
Yeah, VP's paper is like written in crayon right now after that last series against OG. I don't really know what to make out of them.
I mean, forget getting toured by OG. They lost the game to Beast Coast.
Yes.
Yes.
But VP are known to like give a few every once in a while, just to do weird stuff. Like in the first game of their Beast Coast series, they like picked AA mid, I want to say. I think it was AA mid, just to force an Omni Knight into a 5 position. So they're known to mess around a little bit, but being in the lower bracket doesn't give you much room to mess around with.
Jeez, look at those DPC points. Nobody is touching them. This is supposed to be the greatest team in Dota. First place by a long shot. But, you know, there is a conspiracy theory, boys. I don't know if you believe in this kind of stuff, but did VP purposely go down the lower bracket so they didn't have to go against Secret? We have heard them talking before. They kind of don't want to face off against each other. They don't want to knock each other down. Could it be?
So they knocked themselves down. So rather than being knocked down by Secret,
Stop
they said,
yourself.
we're going to knock ourselves down.
That's right. I mean, many say that that's what EG used to do, was purposely go in the lower bracket and then swing and just dominate.
The dark webs of the Dota 2 under.
You know, there really are.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Let's take a head-to-head here before I go off on conspiracy theories in Dota, which there are many, okay? The low pool, it could be true. Think about it. You heard about that one?
The Shadow Pool?
The Shadow Pool.
Oh, yeah,
the Forbidden Place?
Yes, the Forbidden Pool, where only the most wretched and destitute gamers are
What I want to
trapped.
see is the coach challenge where you coach the worst of the worst.
Oh, yeah.
I think you have to have a behavior score to be a coach in this new Battle Pass thing, right? The coaches challenge.
Correct. Yes.
Because I mean, you want upstanding coaches, but what about the players?
I think they should put the coaches into low priority games. That
would be really fun.
Incredible. Think of the content you'd get from that.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been working on a video for like 3 weeks about this. Do not steal my thunder right here on the main stage. I
Don't worry,
beg you.
We won't tell anyone, Slack.
Do not talk anymore about this.
Yeah.
All right, so let's focus on this series here coming up. Of course, there's, again, much like the last series, which we can all admit wasn't really this big battle. There's a clear person that should win and a clear underdog. But in this one, I think it is a much different than the last series.
Yeah, I think VP are less consistent than LGD, and MINESKI have a bit more potential than Complexity right now. So, yeah, there's a clear favorite, but it's like, you know, LG Cole was like here, now VP MINESKI's like here.
So that's very
it's shrinking. Yeah.
All right, Tsunami. Thoughts? Is the VP? Are they? You know, they had a day off. They had some time to relax. The jet lag's over. We're gonna see old VP again, the major dominators.
I mean, to an extent, you had mentioned that, like, you know, they're locked into TI. How much do they really have to show, right? Do they need to bring out their best strategies in this lower bracket run? Yeah, who knows how many more patches there'll be before TI?
I mean, and to be totally honest, when you say bring out their best strategies, I don't think this is a team that necessarily came in with strategies and a ton of preparation. They're a team that's in, we've qualified for TI mode. Let's not burn ourselves out. There's going to be new patches. You know, don't overthink what's going on currently with Dota, because by the time you get to TI, it's going to be a different meta.
I mean, who needs to even go to Birmingham? Just go to some random other land with like 4 other teams.
I don't think VP were boot camping for this tournament and training the same way other teams were.
Yeah.
All right.
Be my guess.
Well, I'm very interested in the storyline of MINESKI, their growth. As we saw them in the last event in India, you know, they did very, very well. Now we have Raging Potato back. Have you guys seen too much from Raging Potato real quick?
Yeah, he's good. He plays decent. He's got a very big hero pool. He used to be a core and a mid. And I think he's been a nice addition.
Yep. All right. Well, you know what? Those teams are heading over to the stage. So let's go ahead and watch these champions walk to the arena.
Merci d'accueillir VIRTUS.PRO. Et leurs adversaires, MINESKI. Faites du bruit!
And there you have it. Our teams are in the booths, ready to do battle once again. Man, I gotta say, that Spider-Man music hypes me up every time. I feel it. I feel the Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's thematic. Isn't the new trailer just drop and everything? Far From Home. And
What are you trying to get an advertising job here? Okay, don't take that from me. I'm the guy who's supposed to be doing the sellout, Disney. If you're looking for anybody,
you look at the VOD and you show me whose face was on the camera.
All right.
during those.
Spider-Man and Homecoming in theaters sometime. Gods.
That movie already came out.
Oh yeah, that was the last one. I was technically still right. Gods, you saw him coming out. Who had the most confidence? VP, they lined up real nice, real easy.
Yeah, MINESKI were like, wait, do you walk to the end? Do you stop and let people?
Yeah, there was like a little bit of deviation. I mean, I want drill sergeant precision.
Precursor to the series based on that lineup.
Obviously.
Miscommunication potentially.
No, I think we're okay. I think we're gonna get past the awkward walk on stage. MINESKI, they've got the experience. They've had their fair share of awkward stage walks before. It's not going to get in their head slacks.
All they needed is 71 to do some push-ups outside, and then heads right back in the game.
Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that. He has just been a tour de force in a lot of these games. We, as talent, get to see these guys playing, practicing, and stuff like that.
He's just chugging that water.
Look at him. He
that was a full water bottle.
He drank the whole bottle.
That man is hydrated out of his mind right now.
Pick that up later, please, though.
Yeah, that we do recycle here at Disneyland Paris. But yeah, where's the other coach? What's
Zeke, he's there.
He ain't chugging anything. He's talking to his team. What's he doing? Nothing of value. Chug something.
Probably checking out their battle passes. This is the series to watch when it comes for battle passes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. VP versus OG would have been, but that series already happened, unfortunately, pre-battle pass.
I mean, as far as teams who set the battle pass meta, VP and OG are the two to look at.
For sure. Like, we didn't see that many inflatable snakes in the last series.
We did see a couple
in the laning phase, but I think people, and then the little, like, signs or whatever. I don't know. VP for sure have put enough money to get their avatars being in the sign instead of their mini-map icons.
Absolutely. We're going to see more snakes than an Indiana Jones movie in this one. So keep those eyes peeled as we get our teams ready to roll here. So we've had a lot of fun. Let's get serious. I would like to talk a little bit to you guys about heroes. One of the reasons that I am so hyped for this series is because these guys are picking a lot of heroes that no one else is touching right now. You got your Meepos, your Underlords, your Jakiros, your Disruptors, your Tides, your Trolls. These are exciting heroes to see in a meta where basically everyone's playing the exact same Dota.
Yeah, we're far enough in this tournament that it's starting to become clear like which are the top tier heroes and which aren't, like Drow and more for like the carries of the tournament. I think in this series in particular, MINESKI probably have a soft spot for Ember, which has been doing very good in the mid lane. Leshrac is something seen very commonly, but I do find that the flavor picks are the ones that will bring these teams who have a wide hero pool success. Like you mentioned, the Underlord, the Jakiros. VP is known to run Disruptors.
Yep, that's the CIS special, right? Disruptors. Yeah. Gods, how could anyone let it go? It's great.
It's great, yeah. It's one of those heroes that suits VP because it's good when you're playing on the front foot, and that's where VP like to be. They love to crush the early game, win their lanes, and Disruptor, if you find yourself in that position, punishes teams who are playing defensive so well.
Absolutely.
I just don't know what happened in that OG series. It just wasn't VP Doto.
Conspiracy, bro.
They had Invoker game one. That's a hero we've seen a couple times struggle.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any Invoker this series.
You don't?
Not if you want to win. You want to get some fans or something, maybe.
Well, we do have some exciting heroes that could be popping up. We did see that Meepo earlier, which was pretty hype from Ajit, right?
They got crushed that game.
Yeah,
but
it was
a hype pick, though.
Yeah, hype pick,
a hype pick.
We got hyped on the panel, and then we don't actually watch the game or care about what happens. We just care about,
Gods, why do you have to be like this? Take off the leather jacket and stop
being too cool for us. I mean, all things considered, MINESKI did not have the easiest journey here. They got bopped by LGD both times in their group stage, and then they were able to beat Empire. But this is, I don't know how I would compare VP versus LGD. I would think that VP is a more difficult opponent.
VP, to me, just fluctuate a lot more. Like, VP at their best is, top 2 in the world alongside Secret, I would say. But VP will have dips in form where they lose games to Beast Coast, where, they get 2-0'd by OG in 20-minute games. So I think VP just fluctuate a bit more.
I'm going to say one thing that might be a little controversial, but I believe that out of all the Dota teams that are out there right now, VP probably is one of the only ones that I think actually is affected by stuff like tilt. Losing like one of those early games and in a really bad way, sometimes they could just let a whole series go from something like that. And
yep.
You agree?
I agree. I think even some of the players, like no one particularly has a kind of reputation for that from his pub games a bit.
Yeah.
It's not like some big secret or anything. They are an emotional team.
Right.
You see it when they're on camera and things aren't going well for them. Like back when them and OG were big rivals playing in the old major system, it was this constant back and forth where VP, they did get tilted. Absolutely.
I think VP more than other teams. They're very unwilling to have to play defensive. Like pretty much every single time they draft, it's always like you said. They always want to be at the front foot. They want to be taking the aggressive positions. And then even though it never goes out according to plan in every single game, but even when it doesn't go well for them, they keep trying to bully their way back into an aggressive position. Whereas I think most teams are willing to be like, all right, whatever, let's just sit back and farm. We can sit back at our high ground if we have to, sit there for like 5-10 minutes. Whereas I think VP are a little bit more belligerent in that situation.
All right, boys, I am excited. The smile has come for we are in the draft, and we get to see what exciting heroes that we might not normally see. Speaking of which, a very respectful Troll Warlord first phase. Oh, just when I say it, come on, MINESKI. I was hyping you guys up for your creativity this whole time.
And they left Drow in the pool. You picked Drow.
I mean, yes.
I mean, we did see a Drow get eaten alive by a broodmother, and VP are known to pick broodmothers.
That was a 10th pick brood, though.
Yeah, so I'm keeping my eye on those second phase
The thing
bans.
is, yeah, everyone saw that game, I think, end of the day. Like, that was a reminder not just to NIP, who lost to it. I think it was NIP?
No, it was Secret versus...
no,
it was EG. It was the EG Secret Series, I believe.
Yeah, it was Matu Brood, Liquid one.
Oh, Liquid,
yeah.
right. That's right. Yes.
Yeah, Liquid Brood. I mean, I think everyone watched that and was like, okay, remember about Brood. It's still a hero, and if Ramsey's Brood player, watch out for it potentially.
Right, but you don't need Brood. I mean, the strategy is still the same. Get heroes, much like a sniper, that can just jump on top of the Drow Ranger and just take her out.
I know you said that the snipers you still do ban out Brood. We're very close quarters, and you would rather call him Shotgun. But Sniper is not the first hero I think of when I think of jumping on people.
Well, no.
Are you saying you deal with...
Right, you deal with Drow much the way you deal with Sniper.
Oh, yes, okay,
so,
yeah. So why not pick Batrider, yeah.
Right, pierce the back line, get on top of people, and Drow's much the same. So I like VIRTUS.PRO's idea with this, right? Just get people that can go in there, survive for a little bit, get their duty done, and get rid of that Drow. But MINESKI, kind of thinking that as well, picking that big hard counter to the Batrider, as most would say, the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah.
They were very quick with that Venge pick too, so they were maybe anticipating a Batrider in the opening stage from VP. I think as far as your opponent's letting you have Drow goes, Batrider is one of the better responses.
Yeah, and they banned out the Sand King and the Brewmaster, so I mean they have a variety of ways still left behind. Like the Oracle first pick, I wonder if it was just also another solution to preemptively protect the Drow. I mean, protect the Batrider thing. You're like, you don't want the lasso being broken, so they go for the Oracle, who is arguably like the support of the tournament right now.
Yep, we have seen other teams value that Oracle very highly, as opposed to some, but VIRTUS.PRO does know how to play an Oracle real well. So we'll be seeing that probably be pretty successful in this series. As we move on to the next set of bans, Spectre ban, an interesting one. You guys, every time I see Spectre ban, you guys kind of have this look on your face like, why?
Yeah.
Well, this game is just the Drow. We saw Spectre used against Drow by VP in the OG series. That was game one. That was the closer of the two games where VP were doing pretty well, and the Spectre looked good. It was more the Invoker who I think fell off a bit.
Yeah, MINESKI are not wasting any time. As soon as the pick comes out, they immediately respond.
MINESKI really like this silencer. They've been playing it a few times this tournament in the 5 position, and it's kind of been seen as like maybe the answer to Oracle. You can just jump people and not worry about false promise because you've got global silence, but I think ultimately if you have a silencer, it just doesn't bring much to the table outside of global silence, whereas Oracle has 3 pretty damn useful spells.
And if Oracle's got the Galaxy brand, he'll be doing that pre-channel Fortune's End on himself and stuff like that, which you need a strong initiator. The success I see it most with like Silencer has to use his global whenever the enemy team initiates, and so obviously Oracle's like he's got like a 2.5 second window of whenever global's bound to come out, and so like when you have Storm Spirits or Batriders, these heroes that have to initiate extremely quickly, then more often than not you'll be able to counter it as an Oracle.
Interesting. Gods, you talk a lot about that silencer, and I do agree with you. We haven't seen it be too successful, but sometimes when you have teams like this where a Batrider goes and grabs somebody, and then a Terrorblade really needs to get off a clutch Sunder, it can be kind of good. I mean, that little ability to make sure that game-winning move doesn't happen.
I mean, I think the one other really nice thing Silencer brings to the table is going to be the landing stage. Curse is amazing against Batrider. The last time we saw a Silencer picked up, I think it was the Chaos series maybe, and it was against a Batrider as well. So the idea is this Bat Rider relies on spamming his sticky napalm in lane. You can't do that if you've got Curse of the Silence on you. So it really protects your carry a lot in the laning stage.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. So we're going to see the Puck band out here. That's pretty interesting. I guess
That was
Puck
a while
would do
ago,
well.
Slacks.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Catching people up. We haven't talked about it.
Puck God band?
Puck. Huh? Puck? And the Morphling is going to get picked up by MINESKI.
Drow with Morph. We've
Yeah.
seen one of those. Was that?
They were
Secret,
both,
maybe?
yeah, and they were both picked first phase.
Yep.
That was bold, but it pulled off. They pulled it off.
People going away from the Drow Medusa. I think Drow Medusa, it's like you've got two just heroes that only right-click. Morphling's actually mobile. He doesn't get kited. Like if you need to chase down heroes, you've got Waveform. And the utility you get from his ultimate. Like you can turn into a Shaker and stun people. Like you actually can kind of fight early if there's a good morph target.
Pretty big glass cannon team coming out, though, right? I mean, if Terrorblade gets enough farm and is able to just right-click people down, what's MINESKI really going to do against that?
That's going to be KP's job. KP loves being the meat shields, getting Greaves and Pipe on all sorts of heroes, his Naga Sirens, his Underlords, his NPs.
But he also needs to be like the initiator. Like they have no teamfight starter, really.
Right.
Like Avenge swap kind of is, but that's normally Avenge is dying if you're doing that. You're saving the Venge for the swap save against Bat, so...
Could go Darkseer, although these days we don't really see the Blink Dagger that frequently, but I agree, they do need some initiation.
I don't think you can do Darkseer. Well, you can, but it doesn't sound good with Avenge. Like, you're looking at a 4-position Venge, Darkseer lane, like, you almost always want Darkseer with another melee core that can cut the weight behind the tower.
Or at least somebody that can utilize the Darkseer's big ultimates more, right? You see these two big team fight.
You've got no one to Iron Shell. Like, that in itself, to me, is a bit of a downside.
But in the laning phase, I mean, like Terrorblade, he's all about the armor, Ion Shell, even if you just put it on yourself. But actually dealing with the Oracle, never mind. Oracle is the answer to Darkseer.
Yep.
So, see what...
I do think that you made a really good point about the Underlord. He could do something pretty good here.
I have a soft spot for KP's Underlord.
Yeah.
Always been a hero that teams played a lot against TB with all the damage mitigation he can bring to the table.
Yeah. It's a very easy hero that you can build Crimson Guard on and it doesn't feel weird.
Tsunami, before this game, you made a great point about how VIRTUS.PRO like to be on that aggressive stance. They like to be running into people, and it looks like their draft is really suited for that right now, whereas MINESKI, without this last pick, it's extremely defensive. It's, you know, let's see who we can save, let's see what combos we can stop.
Which is why they might double down on counter initiation. Like if you know it's too late to pick up an initiator, then you have a global. Maybe you have like the Underlord ult to get you out of bad situations. So it may be too late to have a contingency for initiation and VP ban on an Omni Knight, which I guess they're thinking it's going to be along the lines of damage mitigation.
I would like to see a big, thick boy right here in MINESKI. Get us somebody to tank that frontline damage.
Yes.
You do not want the Drow Ranger or Silencer tanking your frontline, I'll tell you that much.
There's also a small chance we see a 3-position Venge.
Really?
That doesn't sound terrible to me, then, because there's so many good kind of utility playmaking 4 positions that you could go for.
Wow, Naga Siren.
KP,
Yeah, KP.
probably playing this one.
I would be very surprised.
It used to be a signature hero of his when he was playing core, and
Dude,
even
remember the days of the Meteor Hammer Naga?
Yeah.
Not a thing anymore.
Whoa, we're getting another
Yes!
AA.
Ooh.
Okay,
Why?
talk to me. I need to know. AA has not been around for a while. The traditional counter to Morph, huh?
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
can't morph strength
could they do mid-bat?
against the Morphling.
Because that's what team
And then,
the LGD did it against Secret.
And then what, like core Shaker, you're saying? 3-position Shaker?
Yeah.
Or like Shaker AA kind of lane?
Right.
Yeah. A new AA, his new third spell that replaced the little Icy Hands is kind of interesting because it's not really a support skill.
No.
It was kind of like, hey, maybe AA can be a new mid. Guys, let's give him this new crazy spell. I don't even know what it does. Tsunami, what does it do?
It's a slow, it's kind of like Liquid Fire in that it gives you bonus range, it has a little slow, and it gives you bonus damage on the attack.
It's kind of surprisingly strong for the first 5 minutes. And then it doesn't really exist. But let's get some real predictions out for you, boys.
I think MINESKI's draft is just a bit too greedy.
Yeah.
Drow, Morphling, and then a Naga to round it off doesn't seem to come together. So I'm going to go with VP and get one.
All right, sounds good. Tsunami, how you feeling?
I'll go with MINESKI because I don't think enough teams have proven that they know how to deal with the Drow Morph. I do agree that it's very greedy, but at the same time, a lot of teams have to ban one or the other. So maybe MINESKI overplayed their hand, but I would like to see them pull it off.
All right, well, what will be victorious? Just a little bit of greed or a lot of attack? We're going to find out soon if we're going to see the VP that we all know and love, or if MINESKI's going to win one of the most important series of the year. Let's head on over to Capitalist and Blitz.
You love to be able to see these kind of setups in drafts where both teams bring their own little bit of flair to all this extra bit. We've got KP Naga Siren, No One Ancient Apparition. It's sure to be a great game. Just going to head into it soon.
VIRTUS.PRO contre MINESKI. Game 1.
That's right, game 1 of MINESKI. Versus VP. Blitz, what are your thoughts about the draft? Are you excited to see this mid-ancient apparition again?
Oh, definitely. I wasn't really able to watch it last time because we were casting the other groups.
Yep.
But I did hear that it went pretty well. It was the game that they played against Beast Coast, right?
Yes, I believe so. It's so we should break down, since the panel was a little bit questionable about this new spell, because we really have not seen a whole lot of ancient apparitions. When it has been picked up as support, I liked Tsunami's comparison. To it being kind of like liquid fire, this long cooldown, you just kind of use this harassment ability. But the real value comes from the much lower cooldown. As you get it maxed out, it goes all the way down to 3 seconds. And with a gigantic range, you're pretty much like a sniper, hitting from 900 range away at that point, being able to just every 3 seconds do this big, gigantic hit. So as a core, it seems like it does kind of make sense for you to want to get this, this hero as many levels as possible. But can it actually function as a core? I mean, it seems like a hero that'd be incredibly squishy once you get on top of it.
Yeah, the downside of it is that it's super glass cannon-y. I mean, you're going to put out tons of damage. I think that the new Chilling Touch, especially with levels, he should get a level 1, which he does. Once it's maxed, he's going to hit quite hard. It's just getting to that point is a little bit awkward as...
Fighting for the bounty runes. KP. Unable to grab it there. VP. Oh, that Fisher block not quite on the mark. MINESKI was able to get away there. KP cutting through the trees and getting out. The other side of things, we talked about the Ancient Apparition. We've got the off-lane KP Nagasai. To get that set up. How's our mid lane going, though? 11-7 right now. No one doing very well for himself as this Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, it helped that he was able to get the help of his team to secure that kill as Raging Potato comes in, but he's just going to make his way down towards bottom, I'd imagine, to help out KP. You can't just completely sack your Naga Siren, I think, at this point. And maybe even it's Raging Potato who goes for the skip.
Another block. That cold feet is going to be able to proc here. Just a really great setup and the combination. You don't need the full Fisher block. All you need is just enough to make sure the cold feet roots that Juro Ranger down.
And I do love the flexibility that VP has with their draft. It's like what we saw earlier in Game 1, PSG LGD versus Complexity, where you show one thing and you mean another. You show the Doom plus Pugna, and it's actually the Pugna that's the offlaner and the Doom that's the support. It's that kind of flexibility that allows you to do whatever you want and adapt in the drafting phase so much. You take this AA, you can play a mid. It means that you always have a hard counter for this Morphling at whatever phase of the game you go into. Morphlings and Huskars never really love playing against AA.
Yeah. I mean, the panel was even talking about there's a world where it's like they could have potentially, even in that last pick, run like 3-position Shaker and mid Bat Rider, you know? Like, so when you're able to set up a draft where as you go into the game and you're waiting for players to pick up with certain heroes, you still are not 100% certain where the heroes are going to be. It's going to offer you a serious laning phase advantage.
Yeah, and I do love how he is using his Chilling Touch, not just for offensive harassing, but also to always secure the range creep. Quite intelligent. Just makes it hard for this Dro to catch back up into this lane if she's not getting any denies either.
Bounty runes, I have to say, all the teams so far have done a very good job of setting up situations that even when they're behind, you know, they just like run into the enemy side of the map, try and always exchange 2 for 2, as we have seen how the Bounty runes can play a serious impact on the net worth. Roger not gonna let this Dro Ranger be alone. Keeps on hovering around this mid lane because it seems like the Naga Siren has really already been dealt with.
I do like the ward that they've placed over here too, just to spot when they do stuff like ancient stacks.
Oh, okay.
Try to get Moon back into the game. Because right now, he's 2 levels behind. He doesn't really have a game. No one's being so aggressive everywhere on him.
6-minute runes about to spawn. Moon is going to be able to push into Solo here. Solo in trouble, does not have the face edict to go for the disarm, so he's just going to die to the right clicks. And now an Ancient Apparition may be in trouble. He was actually silenced up. The last word as he casted it, he got silenced, and as a result could not go for the release. So it's just slides right on past Ninja Boogie. The support survives, and they killed the big core of VP.
I'm surprised that no one decided to go for that, considering there was 3 heroes, and we talked about how this is a glass cannon hero. He's very paper.
Yeah.
By walking up to that high ground, he was just making himself an easy target. They don't even need to stun him to really kill him. It just takes about 2 seconds and he goes down.
It seems like they just got into that pattern of repetition of like this Earthshaker AA always being able to kill the Dro Ranger, and just felt like he could continue to be very aggressive like that. Moon is going to be caught here. The lockdown of the Oracle is going to ensure the Ice Blast lands. Roger's in trouble, but no, he's actually fine. He's going to TP out. Nice flame break push back here as Pasha dives in deep into the jungle. Punishes the silencer, punishes Ninja Boogie. Ramses, ooh, picks up the Sunder level 6 and is able to get it off here on Ajit, who goes for the early rotation. Try and put pressure on this TB, may still be able to find him as they get the reveal from Raging Potato. The stun out and a big nuke from the MINESKI Morphling to get the kill.
Very nice rotation from Ajit and Raging Potato. They really needed to help out KP's game. He was struggling real hard. He's only level 4. Hasn't really picked up his farm, and he's getting gone out now at top as Pasha, utilizing the full offensive potential of this Bat Rider early on. He's going to flame break him back into the Firefly, and KP getting real low, should get solo killed here. Pasha with another one.
VP, they were another one of the teams always known for spamming out those voice lines. Pretty happy with that kill on the top lane. Now, that was something that MINESKI did last time they drafted the Naga Siren, is that they thought because of the Naga being able to go for the illusions and dispel off the sticky napalm stacks, that it would have been an okay matchup. But we did see last time that there was also scenarios where he would pop it and then the Bat Rider could just control the lane every single time the illusions was on cooldown. They're going to give Roger a bit of space here now in the mid lane as the Ancient Apparition farms bottom, and our Terrorblade heads up to top lane. See if, much like the Morphling tried earlier, see if he can pressure the enemy safe lane, but MINESKI are not going to give this up so easily. Look at Ajit just sitting behind KP's Naga Siren, ready for a fight, but it looks like VP did read the scenario thanks to Pasha and will back out.
Both supports right now just trading out, trying to get what they can as Fissure comes out just to harass a little bit, secure the range creep. Ninja Boogie now making his way towards mid. Level-wise, they aren't doing the hottest right now on the side of MINESKI, at least when it comes to their two supports.
Yeah, there's going to be this really awkward moment where we're outside of laning phase, but these supports still do not have their level 6. And I'm going to say it's a lot more important to have this level 6 for the silencer with his global silence or the swap. Like, they're not going to just have a ton of impact without those ultimates. Pasha looking around here, trying to find anybody with this deep smoke with Roger. Of course, if they don't find anybody, it serves an alternative purpose where they are able to get a very nice aggressive vision down. A successful scan though. Moon should be wise to what's happening here, but just because he knows it's happening doesn't mean he can stop it. There's a great 1-2 punch from the Oracle, and AA kills him. And that'll secure the bottom bounty runes for VP.
That's almost the Atos too. Onto no one. He made the rotation down towards the bottom for a while now. But KP now being protected by Ajit. They're going to try to take the tower together.
Mirror Images trying to push back the Oracle and go for this tier 1 tower. The mass rotations from VP will force MINESKI back. I like that. It's not much gold, but you can let those bounty runes stick around until the next 30-second marker. I think it's like an extra 2 gold for everybody.
It matters over
every little bit.
You never know when that 2 gold.
Pasha pressuring Moon here. Moon, that was a great flame break, and now he's going to be caught by the lasso. He's just going to tick out here from all this fire damage. The TP rotations from Raging Potato. Again, what is this support really going to be able to do without his level 6? Vengeful Spirit is a good counter to Batrider because of the swap breaking the lasso, but seeing as he's only level 4, MINESKI is struggling to get levels on these supports. Top lane, meanwhile, VP is willing to take some risks to get their support some levels, but those risks do come at a cost. Solo farming up the top lane, ends up getting killed. Now Raging Potato here at bottom. They are going to be throwing out the Echo Slam, just trying to pop him faster, but MINESKI's already rotated over. Jit turns into a Batrider himself, grabbing the bat with that flame break and getting the kill. Really great rotations from Jit so far. Loving to see how active this Morphling can be.
Yeah. Earlier, they did lose their Vengeful Spirit to, or it was their Silencer. Ninja Boogie went down to no one. Nice and easy, but good counter kills by MINESKI, keeping up early on. Score is only 8-5 with a 1,000 net worth lead, as this Ancient Apparition is going to hit the tower, but this should be a slow siege, and somebody on the side of MINESKI should come defend this. Has no one. Invis, he instantly TPs, and he wants this Morphling. He does have the ulti up. They do have a fissure for him too, and if they could chain this together, he will go down very quickly. He has completed a hood in anticipation of this AA countering him.
No one. Just spotting out Ajit. Meanwhile, we do have the 2-man smoke of VP. Looks like they may be running into the Naga Siren, who's farming up the jungle, but we're waiting for no one to make his big play. There goes the Fissure. The Ice Blast is going to land. It doesn't actually do the big burst of damage, and the Global Silence now going out now with no spells, and Ajit having that extra bit of protection from the Hood of Defiance. He's going to be fine, if anything. And maybe no one in trouble if Raging Potato can just get close enough for the swap. Won't be able to do it. Ramses is able to take that top tier 1 tower, while VP hiding behind their own safe lane tower. They need some rotations because MINESKI are looking for the dive here. The Terror Blade is going to TP in. Raging Potato spotted that out with the Wave of Terror, though.
That was very well done by Ninja Boogie, popping the ulti to make sure that the Ice Blast couldn't finish through with the connect. All it did was gently pass through his morph. Would have most likely been a kill, I think.
Going for Mech next. So with this combination of Null Talismans and the Rod of Atos, which has some natural stat build up, and then the Mech as well, this is how he's going to be able to make this Ancient Apparition a lot tankier than you see from those supports. 8-5, 14 minutes in. Ramses has taken 1 tower, and now he's looking to do it again here as the Rod of Atos going to catch this Vengeful Spirit, and this long-range poke of the Fissure into the Rod of Atos Cold Feet. Hell, they didn't even need the Rod of Atos for a lot of kills in the Drone Ranger. Now the Ice Blast. They've got the Oracle, who has tons of long-range burst damage as well. MINESKI has to be super careful with their positioning in any of these defenses.
and Ninja Boogie wanted to go for a smoke, but Ajit accidentally broke it instantly. So he's just going to go and farm some Ancients.
And Ninja Boogie, I guess, will use that smoke to try and get some sort of aggressive vision down, though he already has some pretty good vision in this jungle. Ajit's going to join him here as they head into the jungle while KP pushes the tower. VP immediately evacuate that entire side of the map. Looks like they may just be giving up this tower in exchange for a bunch of space to farm.
By the way, KP not going for the build that we normally see him go, which is transitioning more into like a 1/2 position core. He in fact is going to go for the Meteor Hammer.
How you feeling about this? I mean, it does give you a, it's like, I feel like I saw this once before from KP. I'm not sure if it was this tournament, but maybe a different one.
I think it's a cool build, and I think they know they have to push the pace because the TB-AA combo will always be able to kill their Morph Throw.
Yeah.
Plus, there's just much more control, I think, on the side of VIRTUS.PRO. And so if you're MINESKI, I think you're trying to push the pace and find ways into this game to open up on. Like, I don't think you just play the passive farming game.
He's got to take a more active approach.
Yeah, I don't think they have enough stuns to fight late game.
Will be able to get off that magic immunity and immediately just saves himself with the Fortune's End as well. They are going to have the long-term disable here on Raging Potato as that purge gets maxed out and locks down that Vengeful Spirit. Gonna find Ajit here as well. Actually goes for the lasso now. His team is pretty far away. They are going to be able to get the reflection. He's going to go for the TP out, and the Rod of Atos is there in time. Now the Ice Blast, and that percentage will just cut down a Morphling who tries to morph in his strength like that. A big mid lane push is coming out from MINESKI at the same time, so they will be able to get this mid-tier 1 tower. Let's you say this tower is all critical for most of these lineups, and at least that's going to be a decent exchange. Oh, beautiful silence coming out from Moon as they go from taking that tower to getting aggressive, and VIRTUS.PRO did not expect that one bit. They will not tread into the high ground. That would have been a little bit dangerous, but they'll take the free kill on the captain of VIRTUS.PRO.
Pretty nice snap for them is, I mean, they'd like the AA just because he's worth a pretty good amount of gold versus how hard he is to kill. Has really decided to tank up. Pasha now completes the Blink Dagger.
What do you think about this? The Blink Dagger as opposed to the Boots of Travel build. Do you think this is a similar concept that KP is going for?
I think he's deciding to himself, like, I'm probably not going to be the one to push out the lanes. It's almost always just going to be my TB.
Okay.
And that's really what the Batrider with the Boots of Travel is effective at, is Roger decides to try to go for the TP, but is easily going to get caught out, should go down, no problem, as Raging Potato finishes him off with the Wave of Terror. I think he just wants to take fights, and I think he thinks that the initiation is even more important against heroes like Silencer and the Naga Siren, the instant initiation, I should say.
Ninja Boogie, we haven't talked about this yet, but he's actually been a part of a decent number of kills. He's stolen 12 intelligence so far. Ice Blast. Now the mirror image is going to help KP get out of that lockdown, but he still takes a lot of the damage. Ajit turns into a Terrorblade as he jumps forward to the waveform, gets off a Reflection. They do have the Song of Siren, locking down a lot of these heroes, so they're going to try and get set up. And Raging Potato in the back line is still being run over by Pasha. He actually goes for the swap. Now the stun onto the Batrider, and they're going to be able to kill him. Ramses is going to stand here in this fight, and he does have the help of the Oracle. That's why he depended on Solo to be able to save him. Here the silence goes out. Ajit is tanky enough to be able to get away, so he's good. KP in his positioning with the Song of Siren was able to get out of danger as well after he sort of set up that initiation. So they basically traded a Silencer for a Batrider. Not a bad exchange necessarily for MINESKI, but you definitely want to be able to still defend this mid-tier 1 tower and hold that advantage MINESKI currently has, but they can't afford to lose their heroes. The Drone Ranger's in trouble, will be able to get away as that Fissure wasn't quite enough to allow the Ice Blast to land. Now, maybe Ramsey's gotten a little bit too far forward as he silence up. Yeah, Echo Slam straight into 2 heroes. No follow-up damage, though, and the Terrorblade's still in trouble. There is going to be the meteor missing, and the Sunder does successfully go up with a swap back. It may not matter if you have that extra HP as he's pulled into position, but he actually is turning. KP's in trouble now. The Vengeful Spirit's already dead. The waveform out from Ajit as he's not able to get the kill on the Terrorblade. MINESKI. A back and forth fight there, but just little misses here and there does mean that VP walk away with a slight win.
Yeah, and Moon and Ajit, that could have gone a lot worse for them. They got so low, but there was no follow-up damage on that beautiful Echo. There was no creeps nearby either, so didn't really get to maximize that damage. If you kill the Dro there, so huge for you, but unable to do so, and I mean, they're able to protect their mid tower, which Moon might just decide to deny. I'd imagine he doesn't because it is healthy enough that you could probably take another fight around it if you wanted to and delay VP's timing even further.
Especially if we can get that Song of the Siren coming back up. Which,
that wasn't even an ideal setup for them.
No, it wasn't at all.
It could have been a lot worse for VP there. But only a 1K gold lead for what a lot of people, I think, predicted to be a very one-sided series, especially after what we just saw in the last game. Everyone maybe thinks to themselves, the favorites will just dominate, but not the case whatsoever as
Can't
MINESKI.
quite get in range. He's trying to get that swap. They pop the drums to give him the extra movement speed. The Bat Rider hiding to the side. 1 second for the TP as well, but the stun comes out just in time from Ajit, and they get the kill. And another bit of intelligence for Ninja Boogie as well. And look at that. Moon, very decisive, says a pickoff like that, that warrants a Roshan attempt.
And I feel like he could have just walked up, blinked. He did have it up. If he made it over that little river, he would have been just fine.
Yeah. Little mistakes like that can cost you big, not just your life, but the fact that MINESKI is now bold enough to take the Roshan. The Song of Siren is back up, so it's going to be very difficult for VP to be able to contest, but they do have all this long range, and it's hard to be able to fight into the Ice Blast, which makes its way into the pit. It's a big nuke, but not enough to stop MINESKI, as they will be able to pick up that Aegis from Moon.
Yeah, now Moon's getting steadily farmed as he is completely caught up from the laning phase. Third in net worth. He has overtaken no one's AA. This is the best part about being able to play AA. All you really need is the Hurricane Pike.
Yeah.
Or Dro Ranger. All you really need is a Hurricane Pike. You feel really good. It's many different ways for him to disengage against the heroes that VP have. The TB isn't farmed enough where I think he's afraid.
So Blitz, you always tell me mid-tower helps you control Roshan.
Yeah.
You said maybe he'll deny it, maybe they can fight again. They take Roshan, he immediately denies it afterwards.
Nice.
Perfect linking for your analysis.
Yeah, that's really cool that they decided to make that play. Because I think at that point, they think Ramses will just cut and potentially take it with his illusions.
Yeah.
But it's the threat of maybe they're smoked up behind this mid-tower that prevents them from being able to do so. So just min-maxing a little bit as VP barely lead in this game now. Scotty is completely finished by Ramses, and this will help him a lot against the pursuit of the Dro Ranger.
Straight up Scotty, already complete for Ramses, who's got a decent, healthy lead ahead of everyone else. Of course, this is mostly a single core TB, right? Like this Ancient Apparition Bat Rider, they're going to enable fights really well. They're going to get the initiation. I'm not going to discredit what the Ancient Apparition can do in a team fight, because still the percentage-based damage is always going to be strong. But when it comes to the hard carrying of physical damage and taking towers, that is all on Ramses.
I do like that the Vengeful Spirit has a drums.
And that drums is not going to be able to save him here, though, as Meteor Hammer.
I just like that Raging Potato can be a little bit more core-like.
Yes.
In this game, especially with Dro on her team. You shouldn't underestimate the amount of damage that she can put out.
Especially if you can get any sort of stat items, multiple bracers or Wraith Bands.
Yes.
You swap and save your ally, you die, but your illusion can still keep right-clicking the big
E-blade.
nuke. Oh, no, that E-blade doesn't land.
Oh, but they might still have him.
Still may be able to get a really good Meteor Hammer with the Global Silence also going off. The Oracle can't save himself. They're going to focus on the fight position first and deal with the Ancient Apparition afterwards. He throws out the Ice Blast, but he's silenced and won't be able to do too much. But Ramsey is still the harder carry here and can run down these heroes. With this, Scotty just rips apart the Morphling, able to take out away the Aegis of the Dro Ranger. And Roger sets up on him. They don't even really need his stuns. Moon is just delaying the inevitable at this point. MINESKI thought they had a good fight, and they had a two-man Meteor Hammer setup, but Ramses is showing there's a reason he's so far ahead in net worth. He just continues to build more and more as his big damage allows him to win a fight and increase his lead.
And they also wasted their 5,000 gold item by using the E-Blade in conjunction during the song. Like, the timing of that couldn't have been worse for them. The Global Silence gets popped, but you just grieves it off, reset the fight for yourself.
Yeah.
Very rough. I think he needs Ghost Scepter on no one or Yules. Like, he needs some sort of defensive item so he doesn't just get blown up like that in 4 hits by the Dro. But even with that ideal fight, VP, they do lose a core, so that's the upside, but...
It is, like, we should say, MINESKI, like, not the cleanest setup there for these fights. A lot of credit, though, does go to the way the VP have drafted this setup. I feel like it's very hard for MINESKI to get in position for these Song of Sirens because this long-range poke, you know, like, it's so good against the hard commitment 5-man team fight that MINESKI want to be able to take.
Oh, for sure. Very good point. And I think VP's lineup is just easier to execute. The amount of stuns that they have, it's easy to play around a single core TB because you know that he's like this, he's just this late game beast that you don't really fear anybody. Going late game with TB on your team does not feel bad at any phase. You always think to yourself, like, we can do this. Plus, they have plenty of ways to deal with the Morph, the Drow Ranger. Like, they have a lot of control on their team, whereas for MINESKI, it's really just this Naga Siren Sleep. Eventually, everyone will get an item to deal with the Global Silence if they haven't already. You've got Greaves on one core, you've got a Manta on another. So the amount of actual disable that comes out on the side of MINESKI is very limited, whereas almost everybody on VP comes with one.
And you'll have even less answers if he manages to complete this Butterfly and the Terrorblade. Now, a lot of your physical damage coming out from the Drow Ranger, the right clicks, the Morphling are not going to be a factor either. As you can see, the Vision battle has gone on pretty extensively here. MINESKI has actually killed slightly more wards, but it's going to be the Silencer caught as he was just, Ninja Boogie was just killing the Observer ward, but dies for that positioning.
And Morph now is going to go for his BKB. We saw how quickly, once he committed the offensive E-Blade, he died in 3 seconds to that TB.
Yeah.
It took no time at all. Does still have the Drow Ranger aura though, so will always continue to hit hard. But full Butterfly now completed by Ramses as well as a DD rune.
That has got to be faster than the average for sure. This build up from Ramses. Super scary is there. Yeah, there it is. 5 minutes faster than the average. And again, had a Scotty before that, so this insane timing and a double damage this tier 2. Whew.
This 3-item timing is so good.
Yeah.
From Terrorblades. Once you get the Scotty for the HP and just the ability to have your own chase mechanic on top of the Butterfly, this is when the hero really starts to feel good. You don't have an MKB on the Drow Ranger. You don't have one on any of the cores really. The Morphling wants to get a BKB beforehand, and Ramsey's going to pop the DB, the DD, and go for the Metamorphosis. And they're just going for the high ground. You have to come back faster on MINESKI. Look how quick this went down.
They're not in position for this whatsoever. The tier 3 is already dead. Ramses still thinking, maybe I can get some damage on this Ranger Axe. I might as well make sure of it. He's silenced up right now. Does take some damage from the Drow Ranger, but you can see the Butterfly into effect. Look at this Glimmer Cave setup, though. We have a Song of Siren now. VP is very well spread. They're going to go for the stun of the Oracle and see if they can burst down Ramsey as quick as possible. The Ice Blast goes out, but there is that Global Silence. The Ice Blast is released. It does manage to catch on Jin. That is very important, but he's going to be swapped back by Raging Potato. Ramsey still trying to get this damage. He does manage to kill the Morphling. Melee buys back. Raging Potato may still take out Ramses. Realizes he's going to start backing up as his double damage Metamorphosis is wearing a little thin, and with the buyback of the Morphling, they're just going to move their way backwards, knowing that KP is kind of stuck right now if they can find him. Roger sure enough does, and managed to get the Fisher block too. KP has no defense of the Song of Siren. He obviously used that to start the fight, so VP will end the fight with a kill on the Naga Siren KP.
And this should still force VP back. No meta, missing a hero, a forced buyback on the Morphling. They're perfectly comfortable with that trade. They can just wait for the next Aegis and Cheese to be able to go for the high ground attempt unless they find another DD or something like that. But still, some time has been bought by MINESKI. Not looking too good, though. They can't protect their Morphling is the big problem, is he can't fight head-to-head against the TB.
Yeah. Do you think, like, what is, you know, barring, like, okay, I get a Song of Siren, I'm going to get a 3-man stun with my Meteor Hammer. Is there a better setup for MINESKI? Should they be targeting someone else? Like, we saw KP going for the stun on the Oracle. That makes sense. Should more of them commit to killing the Oracle right away? Should we have him shotgun?
I don't really know how, though.
Yeah.
Like, when the Morphling commits in, they just die. They don't have stuns. That's a large part of their lineups. What they lack.
Okay, there is going to be swap. Raging Potato gives up his life. to buy Dro Ranger a second chance.
It's never about what your late game can potentially look like, because I could see a situation where a Draw Ranger and a Morph, they both get 6 slotted, you get an Ags to deal with the TB. I could see a way that you win that kind of game.
Yeah.
But it's the ability to deal out that damage that they sort of just lack. Like, you can't hold anybody in place right now. Look how everybody just runs, disengages. The Manta dodge on the E-Blade, they just have to run away. Whereas VP have the ability to continuously chase.
Moon did not get hit by the dust, and now he's thinking, maybe I can set up on this. Maybe they'll get out of position, but VIRTUS.PRO do not.
And some high grounds being pinged.
Might as well. No threat of global silence. While the silencer is down now, he does have a buyback. If there's some sort of sick Song of Siren setup here, maybe they could buy back and go for the fight. Or maybe it'll just be Ramses, the Ancient Apparition. Ice Blast is coming in. The Dro Ranger's already taking so much damage. Again, there's going to be the swap. Now the Song of Siren goes down. But are they going to be able to do anything here? KP is not going for the Meteor Hammer. He said that's just a defensive sleep here. But that means without that initiation, they're just going to have to give up on the top lane of Brax.
And this is going to go down no problem. MINESKI, they're looking for the chase, but unable to really find anything. Without sleep, they're going to go for the smoke, but I don't really know how highly I value the smoke right here. They might catch Pasha, who has a gem. This would probably be the biggest upside for them, is if they just catch this Batrider by himself, and
they do catch him. The swap, he blinked as the swap went down, ends up in the same position, so they do, well, they do get the kill. Don't think they realized that gem was dropped in the trees, though. That was a smart little play by Pasha heading into those trees and may have saved it. Meanwhile, they're going to keep on going. I love this, but immediately the buybacks, and look at that! He just turns around, kills that Vengeful Spirit, nice and easy. Now the Morphling pops a haste and says, I got to get out. We forced 2 buybacks. We only lost a Vengeful Spirit. That's not the worst thing in the world. It's a little bad when Ramsey says, well, let's just go into Roshan then.
Yeah, this is going to be, for VP, what they think is the game secure, where you take at least 2 sets against this MINESKI lineup.
And if it wasn't secured already, gem going back into the hands of Pasha, a 10-second BKB for the Terrorblade. He was just always ahead at the time. He's like, I've got Scotty before you've got the E-Blade, so you can't shotgun me down. I've got Butterfly before the Dro Ranger's a threat, so you can't right-click me anymore. Now he's got Magic Immunity again, so he doesn't have to worry about the Naga Siren into Meteor Hammer. Should always be able to get off the Magic Immunity now that they've changed that chain stun.
Ramsey's going to deal with this bottom lane. Continues to be so massive in this game. Been a part of 15 of his team's 24 kills, so it's not even like this is just a free farm, AFK farm Terrorblade. He's hitting towers. He is completely neutralizing the threat of Ajit. Whenever he goes in, just immediately pops. The buyback also costs us Morph so much.
Yeah.
Like, Ajit has been struggling to catch back up. He was almost at his BKB before he felt like he had a buyback in that top engagement. Now he's just about to finish it. Doesn't have the buyback for another 3 minutes, and I imagine if you're VP, you want to take advantage of that time. Just go for the high ground. It coincides with the timing of your Aegis too.
And your buybacks, I mean, a Batrider and an Oracle, those aren't really important buybacks that you've used.
Yeah, and
big ones are TB and AA.
Since this top lane is always pushing in, it's not even like MINESKI can get outside their base if they win a fight. They would have to win like 2 fights in a row to be able to get comfortable doing something on the map.
Daedalus complete, so you thought the Morphling dropped fast before.
That is a fully completed Daedalus. I mean, a second ago he just bought BKB. 2 seconds later has that Daedalus.
And so he's like, well, I've got too many items with this Aegis. Drops the boots for the Daedalus and BKB. And it's not like he needs any movement speed when he's just gonna stand there and hit your buildings. It's up to MINESKI to finally find that sick team fight that they've been thinking about this entire time. Dro Ranger just leads out on the Terrorblade, tries to get some damage. But again, he's so tanky, and that Butterfly,
how do you stop this?
Able to get away from so much damage to the back lines. The Lotus Storm's going to be able to turn around one stun. Roger's going to be saved by Solo. Now they do have the lasso, but that's going to be stopped. Now the Song of Siren.
The
2 heroes
Meteor
locked together. That's going to be a beautiful Meteor Hammer onto 3 of them. The blink away from Roger is going to be okay. Fisher stopping a lot of this damage. The Terrorblade, though, turning around and helping out his allies. The Echo Slam into the back line. Ajit being controlled up, switched over to the Morphling right before the goal, but it doesn't matter. He just gets ripped apart by the Terrorblade. He tries to go into strength more, but that just means no armor against the physical damage of this Terrorblade. Moon slides away into the night with the Shadow Blade, but they just dive in deeper. Will be able to catch the Ninja Boogie Silencer, dead for 70 seconds. Same goes for the Morphling, and without those cores, 2 against 4. KP is certainly not farmed enough to be able to stop this. As VIRTUS.PRO say, let's make this easy. Ignore Megas for now. Let's just go hit the tier 4s until a buyback of Ninja Boogie makes them perhaps reconsider.
Yeah, at least on the tier 4s, but they're going to hard commit for these Megas. KP coming in, doesn't have the ulti. I mean, he's just feinting, trying to do whatever they can. He's saying, look at me, try to go on me. They'll oblige. They'll try to go for the kill onto the...
Swap back.
The crit.
1,000 damage from Ramses. A buyback immediately from KP, but now that they've secured Megas, let's go for the throne. And MINESKI, they see the writing on the wall. They call it here. GG. VIRTUS.PRO, the mid-ancient apparition with their own bit of flair. MINESKI's bit of flair with that off-lane Naga Siren did not look nearly as good. And to be honest, Blitz, I mean, looking at the way this draft is set up, it just seemed like a dream scenario. This TB wasn't really countered that hard, and it just looks so good for a single core TB against what is a pretty slow and greedy lineup of MINESKI. He took full advantage of all of those heroes needing farm. He said, let's just put everything on me and I'll 1v5.
MINESKI kept this game close, much closer than I thought it'd be, especially with how the laning phase went, with how much they focused on shutting down KP and the repeated raids onto the mid lane. But what really did it for them was MINESKI just didn't have enough disable. Their lack of team fight was just so rough for them. They had some defensive spells, like they could always break the back grip with the swaps. That was very nice swaps from Raging Potato, but offensive disables, they just didn't really have any. Yeah. There were so many different ways at some point for VP to break the global silence, the Drow Ranger silence, that the team fight was just so lacking at some point.
And with that, VIRTUS.PRO do manage to take this first game of the best-of-3 series, but we'll see as the game 2 can offer a lot of changes, potentially in the draft. We go to the panel to get their thoughts on what needs to happen for MINESKI to turn this series around.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Capitalist. It is true. MINESKI has some ways to turn this one around. And speaking of turnarounds, we actually turned around the panel as well. Welcome, Grand Grant, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Tsunami, as we told you guys before, we did decide to do some content in the event, and we actually did try to burn off his beard. Did not work well. Best thoughts and prayers go out to our boy. Hit him up on Twitter. He'll be fine. But Grant, so good to have you, brother.
Thank you.
So we haven't paneled yet. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I mean, I'm good. Typically, that's a lead into a conversation.
Indeed. So what do you want to talk about?
All right. Let's talk about the game that we just saw. VP being dominant as ever. Gods, I think you pretty much called it on that one. You said greedy lineup for MINESKI, VP kind of in their comfort zone. Turned out how you thought, huh?
Yeah, Ramsey's hitting some creeps, getting farmed, had free farm. Morphling had free farm, but there was too many MINESKI heroes that kind of needed to get too many items. It felt like at least.
Yeah. Let me break it down to you. Okay. We've got a clock right here. MINESKI came on at 10 minutes. Ooh, is it?
Oh, don't move Mickey. Don't touch him.
Don't touch Mickey. So that's at about half past noon here, MINESKI was doing decently. 10 minutes, then we move forward a little bit. 3/4 past noon, the TB just came online, and it's simple math from there.
You know, that is his actual nose. Okay.
I know.
He is an anthropomorphic clock. You just manipulated his mustache.
And I manipulated time as well.
Indeed. Let's go ahead and take a look at our highlights. That is my favorite highlight. The team's getting on the stage, baby, as they walk out, those eyes so full of hope. And then the draft, and then those hopeful eyes fade away.
Yeah, but it's true. It was just way too greedy of a draft from MINESKI. And then you have an Oracle TB, right? It's like that is the best save along with the best carry in the game, especially when you can come online. He was at like 19K net worth when the Morph was maybe 12K. What are you going to do?
I kind of liked how the Naga could get to the Oracle in the backlines, but they still couldn't win a fight. Even if they took the Oracle out, like with the Naga sleep, it's like you're committing Naga's ulti just to deal with Oracle.
Yeah.
So is Ancient Apparition the new Brood Mother? Is that the new, we gotcha, we're going to go mid on AA and destroy you?
I don't think so. I think there's only like 2 or 3 people who play it. No one's Sumail, and that was like 2 years ago. it's just going to be a gotcha pick that's going to be in the back of your mind.
Yeah. And it's very good when you have Shaker. That's like the best hero. That just makes AA better because this Shaker that's roaming around, anytime he ganks with Fissure, you can kill the enemy mid because it just guarantees you a cold feet, and that is where AA actually has kill potential.
You know, when your best strategy is Song and the Meme Hammer, maybe things are probably not going too well as they try to defend this Rax against just an unstoppable-looking Ramses here.
Yeah. You can see on the back, the Naga's just trying to chase down Oracle. Oracle doesn't even die there. Ramses had DD for this fight, so it was already pretty rough. And yeah, the Morphling just has a really tough game because he's forced to sit on pretty high strength. Just because you're playing against AA, you're not going to be able to morph in the middle of a fight, most likely. And it made it very difficult for him.
Yeah, and just the long-range reach, right? The Earthshaker, and once you had the Atos, as Cap said, you actually just can't run away. If you get caught by VP, you are dying there.
Yeah, so not too many answers despite these kind of defensive picks. We did see some great saves, though, by the Vengeful Spirit, huh?
We did the Venge and Oracle, but the Venge mostly right at that top lane, saving the Drow once. It actually bought him like 5 more minutes. But
yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, sometimes saving someone isn't the best choice.
Saves are good when you're the ones playing aggressive. Like, that's when you need the saves. If you're using saves when you're in the back foot, it's like you're just buying time. If you're in the back foot, you have to make plays. You've got to, you know, win a fight.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, gods, for saving me there.
Let's go ahead and look at the head-to-head here. As you can see, VP pretty dominant here. What stands out to you the most, Grant?
Wards destroyed. That is a lot of wards being destroyed. Just means that Solo and Roger did a good job of going around the map. If their cores pinged out a ward, they laid a sentry, picked them off, and it's just vision, right? Like, neither team had the best vision hero, so whoever has the most wards is obviously going to win that.
Absolutely, I have to agree with you. I mean, that was really the domination from the map that they needed in order to be aggressive, and you can see that through the numbers. You see, kids at home, vision's important.
It is. Also, the bounty runes, it was 12 and 12, but the last, like, 6 went to VP, and as you know, time goes by, the bounty runes are worth more. You're just getting more gold then.
Exactly. So, let's take a look at our MVP as voted. It is Ramses. No surprise, 14 and 1 on that Terrorblade. Look at those items. He switched out the boots. I'm scared.
How can you run? No, I'm looking at those percentages at the bottom. Team fight participation, 70% on a carry like Terrorblade. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. 70 flat, too.
Yeah.
That's extremely impressive that he
Yeah, it is. If it was like 70.05, you're like, it's whatever, but this
You'd rather 70
impressive.
than 71.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. Double zeros? There, that was very difficult to do. Anyway, so Ramses, no surprise there that he's going to be picking up that MVP. But there were some other big players in that game as well. The Earthshaker was probably the biggest one. I
think so. Roger, we talked about it. I think this is like a very 4-dominated patch. You look at every game, if your 4 is doing well, he's going to get more items than even normally your 3 nowadays. And if he has that impact, especially as an Earthshaker, right? You jump in, you're the one initiating, you're the one doing saves. He got 2 kills when he was level 1 on the Drow middle. Just 2 blocks and the mid's over.
And not many teams are leaving their offlaners alone. Like the fact that Pashit still has a good game after being 1v2 is pretty impressive. But it allowed, Shaker Roger to impact both mid and bottom lane. So, you know, the roaming 4 is back. At least when you have a Shaker, that's what, you don't really pick Shaker to sit in the lane.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, he needs to be able to move around to have an impact early on.
And it is a first pick hero, so we might see a ban, right? People are banning it every time versus Liquid. You might have to do it versus VP, but only so many bans.
All right, boys. Well, I do have to remind you, this is an elimination game. MINESKI loses 1 more. Things could not be looking good for them, and they need this win to solidify themselves in the DPC. But before we get there, how about we take a word with our boys over with a little interview.
好的，我们首先欢迎 KP 跟阿杰来接受我们的采访。那 KP 已经是中文观众比较熟悉的老朋友了，还是问一下阿杰，因为我比较惊讶，他其实汉语非常的流畅。你是简单介绍一下自己吧。
我是来自马来西亚的华人，就我的主语言也是华语，所以，
那我们今天首先来问一下，来到这个 Major 感觉怎么样？
感觉很棒，在迪士尼嘛。 也出去看过一下，然后这里附近都很漂亮。
你们以前有去过其他的迪士尼吗
？KP 有啊，我没有。
那对 MINESKI 来说，这个赛季其实还挺困难的。然后之前很多预选赛事就也没有打出来，但是这次终于打到 Major， 你们自己感觉怎么样？
我的话就感觉很开心吧，因为确实前2个 Major 没打进去，然后最近那个。 打进去了，然后成绩又不好， 拿到12名，然后这次感觉我们会更努力，希望能拿到好的成绩。然后他的话，他也是刚进我们的队嘛，他刚进我们队，其实我们上一个妹子就去了，然后所以就感觉他是我们的
福星
大哥，福星。
阿杰怎么想？
虽然是坎坷，可是就尽力就好了，然后不让自己后悔。
其实 MINESKI 的话是有比较频繁，就是有换过人嘛。KP 你也是从中国赛区到东南亚赛区，其实你很久之前就在东南亚赛区打过，然后再回到这个赛区，你感觉有什么不一样吗？
那时候感觉没那么多队吧，然后现在竞争就很多队，然后很多都是很强的队，感觉现在就没那么容易吧。
那现在 MINESKI 第2个 Major 了，你们对自己的一个期待值在哪里？
期待的话，我肯定期待能拿够分去TI吧，就这个需要可能前3吧。
我感觉前4就很开心了。
前几？
前4。
前4，这为什么差了1个？
没什么啊，就感觉毕竟是挺难的吧。当然希望能拿前4以上啊，可是就满意上来说，前4我就很开心了。
有没有你们觉得是在这个比赛当中，大家会比较忽视掉的，可能会成为一匹黑马的队伍，在你们的训练？或者是
MINESKI
有吗？